Hey there, folks. Hope you're doing well today. It's me, Frank, Guardian Angel, and guess what? They made me full-time. I got a badge and everything, and guess what? I got healthcare. I know. Healthcare is expensive, even in the future, even in space, so, yeah. You know, the divide on the right just keeps getting wider. There is so much infighting between so many different people and so many different groups. It's hard to keep up with it. It's hard to try to document it. Regardless, for the last couple of days, the biggest war has been between Dan Bongino and everyone else on the right. And this is as we see Dan Bongino try to return from podcasting after quitting from being the head of the FBI in the Trump administration. So let's begin with the tweet he released that really ruffled some feathers and then take a look at some different reactions.
3 million views on this post. He said, the support for the Trump administration in the working world is strong. The people are tired of the endless bullshit from the black pillar chicken little grifters. Watch their tactics. First, they overload you with information, but they underwhelm you with evidence. Second, black pillars will rarely take on the president directly. They know they'll get destroyed by the boss and wind up in the political graveyard of egomaniacs who thought they could take on the president with bullshit. Third, black pillars are infamous for telling you an administration policy or action is going to lead to the end of the world before the policy has even given time to demonstrate results. For instance, Venezuela, as he said it. Black pillars and grifters asked for this fight, not us, but I'm absolutely down to fight it. Absolutely down. That's his mission when he came back.
Okay, so this kind of pisses me off, the way he's misusing the term black pillars. And I'm sure it's also pissing off some real black pillars. They don't like it when people misuse their terms. A black pillar is not someone who always thinks the worst, but instead, someone who always thinks the worst and thinks there's no way out. Instead, what we're really seeing happen is accountability. Dan Bongino set the expectation that all of these things were going to happen, and that if he had the opportunity, he would do something about it. And so really what you see these people doing is asking questions and saying, hey, what happened? And for the most part, I think the majority of them just wanted to see some type of results for the Epstein files, or results for the Biden crime family, or results for Obama spying on him, or results for Benghazi. And so what's funny there is the right has really trained all of their people to be let down consistently. And when there's finally a case that gets a little too close, guess what happens? They get let down again. So let's begin the reactions with this one from Twitter, where Shipwreck here responds to Dan Bongino saying, no, you declared war, then blocked everyone who brought it to your doorstep. The audacity of calling people who believed in you and trusted you grifters and losers simply because they don't agree with everything that's happening is enraging. These are the people who supported you and you let them down. And instead of addressing it and recognizing it, you just blast them with some MAGA slop talking points. I hope you get Ben Shapiro'd and no one takes you seriously ever again. Eat an entire bag of dicks. And so that too is going to be a reoccurring theme about credibility and a loss of credibility. But again, their expectations are all unreasonably high. I mean, look back to Trump's first term. He was a hot failure. And them to expect something different this time around? Not to mention, way before he was elected in 2024, we all knew that he had really close ties to Epstein. So, again, unrealistic expectations that they're going to reveal everything when your main man is so close, had such close relationships. But let's see what Dave Smith had to say.
Watched you lie through your teeth. Look, he said, I've seen the files. He killed himself. I just want you to think about this, okay? Dan Bongino, after talking about this all the time, and you saw him right there in the clip saying, don't let up. Don't let up on the Epstein thing. We got to keep talking about this. None of this makes sense. What you didn't see there is he even went as far as one time on the Tim Pool show, he said, I have it on good authority that Jeffrey Epstein worked for Middle Eastern intelligence. Could be any of those Middle Eastern countries, of course. But so he said all that. Then he goes in there. He says, I've seen the files. He killed himself. That was approximately 2 months before the official position of the administration was that the files don't exist. So he said he's seen the files and he killed himself. And by the way, as you know, because we followed this whole crazy train, right? You know, the end result of it is that the bill passed. the files are to be released. Great. So now we all get to see it, right? I mean, I understand they just missed a deadline, but of course, this administration is that they ran on being the most transparent administration in history, right? So we're going to get all that information. So this will be great. So let's see what Dan Bongino saw.
And so out of everyone we're looking at today, I'd say Dave Smith is probably the most articulate and probably the best at critical thinking, which is why it's so strange he even supported Trump in the first place. Nonetheless, he does a great job of calling Dan out on some of his previous claims. And so the claim he's picking apart is that Dan previously said he's seen the files and Jeffrey killed himself. And so now we're seeing the files. Where is the evidence that Dan saw that pointed to that? And so this is a problem for Dan and for most people on the right, for as long as I can remember, that when you make claims and they're not backed by evidence, it's just a matter of time before you're exposed for pushing bullshit.
Podcasting now. The files have been declassified. I'm not a lawyer, but pretty sure you can tell us now. It's not classified information anymore. You can tell us exactly what you saw, exactly how you were able to look the American people in the eye and guarantee and promise that he killed himself. And you know that for a fact. I mean, you must have seen some really strong evidence in order to know that for a fact. What we've seen so far is a fake AI image of Epstein attempting to kill himself in some way in his cell, but it was clearly determined that wasn't a real video. So what is it that you saw, Dan? I mean, look, dude, if you want to come back into this world, in this world here, as you knew before you went into government, in this world, the currency is honesty.
And so here, this is where Dave Smith loses all of his credibility. He does a great job of calling Dan out. The problem is, now he wants receipts. He didn't care about receipts when Donald Trump was claiming that the election was stolen. He didn't say, hey, where's the evidence that meets the burden of proof to back up your claims? He got on board with the grifting bandwagon. But it's not just Dave Smith. Here, let's take a look at Alex Jones.
Dan Bongino called up yelling at me and saying I'm stabbing him in the back and, you don't know and, you're going to get exposed. And then the last month or so, even before he left, the FBI were able to predict he was down to the day because I had dozens of people I know say that Bongino called up and said, listen, when I start my podcast back again, I'm going to expose you and everybody. You better watch out. As if people are scared of you. But then I began to realize it's a marketing tactic. He knows he screwed himself with the public. He knows that tour Patel did going on Rogan and stuff, pitching the same stuff. Trust me, bro, I'm a good guy. I've been briefed by the same FBI that's been caught lying about everything that you told us not to believe previously. That your way to rehabilitate is to come out as if you're the policeman of MAGA and that you will tell us who can be trusted and who can't. And then sure enough, here's the headline, Dan Bongino declares war on black pillars and grifters trying to hijack MAGA.
And so here we can see Alex Jones is really struggling these days. He's being out Alex Jones by so many people. Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. He created the blueprint so many years ago, but these people took it to the next level. Not only that, but he's actually seen repercussions for his actions, so he's a little more hesitant. And there's tons of evidence for this. I mean, here's a video of him telling Candace Owens to take it a notch back or two when spreading conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk's death. And again, let's remember this is someone who had no remorse for ruining the people's lives of slain children.
As most of you that pay attention know, I am not the internet police. I don't infight. I don't try to focus on what other people are theorizing about or doing. I try to focus on what I'm doing. And so it's with a heavy heart that I am forced to put out another report, either tonight or tomorrow morning. We're adding a lot of information right now, a lot more research, dealing with Candace Owens. Just as soon as the whole Egyptian plane thing gets debunked with all the facts, now she's moved to something else, and I'm really worried about her. I'm worried about her and her mind, and I'm also worried about the country and where this is going. It's good to question Charlie Kirk's assassination. I have big questions. We know Cash Patel covered up an investigation into accomplices. I broke that. I'm up before it hit the mainstream news. So I'm not saying don't question. But her latest source in what she's done, implicating the U.S. military, and all this other stuff is just so damaging. And when you go investigate it, it's so crazy. And just like with the Egyptian plane, she says she has the metadata, then publish it. And when she did publish it, and it got fact-checked, it wasn't accurate. Candace, we care about you. But you just doubled down again with something even more absurd. And I hate watching you destroy yourself like this.
And so, again, for Alex Jones to talk about being fact-checked and act like he's on some moral high ground, just like Dave Smith, I mean, it really couldn't be more obvious that every single one of these people are grifters. Now, the next person we're going to look at in Heavy Duty Country, I believe that he actually believed Donald Trump wasn't a con artist, that he actually believed Dan Bongino was going to fix things, that he actually believed the Republicans weren't a bunch of corrupt morons. And so it's interesting to see him go through these emotions after realizing it. First, he's going to begin with some clips of Dan, and then we'll see him react.
This is some of what he said in the past, just so everybody knows.
The PR bullshit is over. It's over. I want mugshots, nothing less.
This is an agency that has betrayed you and that oath you took.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
If you're not going to clean them up and get the FBI focused on actual investigations again and counter-terror, then disband it. It's useless. What's the freaking point? So tired of being lied to.
And so really a great clip selection there. And my favorite is the last one, where he talks about how tired he is of being lied to. And again, all we have to do is look to the beginning of this video where Dave Smith clearly demonstrated through Dan's own previous claims of how they were false or unsubstantiated. Let's see what Heavy Duty thinks.
Growth, but the black pill complaining and whining all the time about the administration of it, it's just like, man, what team are you on? Holy Moses, man. So you don't have to watch. It's okay. There's a door. Go find the freaking exits, because I don't really give a shit. I'm not here for anybody's money or anything like that. I'm too old for that shit.
Maybe it's not that they're tired of the administration. I mean, a lot of people are tired of it. Don't get me wrong. Maybe it's that they're extremely tired of the FBI and the fact that they have made no elite arrests. The elites, they have done nothing with the Epstein files. It's all just been a gigantic cover-up. So what exactly are you saying? Are you saying that people shouldn't watch your new show if they don't like the fact that you pretty much did nothing in the FBI, but you made millions of dollars over the years talking crap about them?
Again, I think so much of this comes down to expectations. I mean, you go around a bunch of these people and you say the words Hunter Biden's laptop, and I'm sure all of them are going to flip the fuck out. If there was some there would have been an actual case. There would have been actual charges. I don't know all of the charges Donald Trump was facing. Oh, the Biden crime family. Joe Biden was some criminal mastermind. Yeah, again, where's the charges? Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Again, all of these words would be incredibly triggering for these people, all because they were trained by the Republicans that these are the bad guys, and yet there is no evidence. And now they're starting to care about evidence and backing up claims. What they need to do is do some self-reflection.
I don't see how you have any more credibility anymore. And let me just say, I think it was massively stupid for you to even join the FBI. Why would you do that? Do you think that you're such a one-man wrecking crew that you were going to go in there and change everything? Did you really think that's what was going to happen? You want to join a corrupt organization that you said yourself was corrupt. Then you get in there, you make no high-level arrests. Epstein stuff is not put out. Everything seems like a cover-up. The Charlie Kirk thing seems weird. And then you're like, what? Oh, man. Everybody against Trump. I'm going after them. It just doesn't really play anymore, man.
So again, let's lock out this scenario that Heavy Duty Country actually believed in Trump, actually believed in Dan Bongino, is actually let down by these people, and why he's now talking about accountability. And remember, though, he's also been eating a steady diet of conspiracy theories for so many years. So taking all that into account, what should be his next natural conclusion? It's obvious. Dan Bongino is being blackmailed.
I mean, look, I'm almost going to the point of he's being blackmailed. That's not a crazy thought process in my mind. Okay, Dan, you can quit, but if you say anything in regards to the Epstein case, anything like that, you're done. And that could mean several things. That could mean you're dead. That could mean we're going to remove you from everywhere. So I don't know. I mean, let's play this out. Let's say they did do that to him. What would be a good way to kind of come out of the FBI if you're not allowed to say anything about it? Angry, defensive, trying to move the topic to something else, which is black pillars, which it's a stupid thing to call people. It's a low IQ thing to call people. Are you just talking about people who have questions? Are we back to that? If you have questions about Epstein, you're just a black pillar. Okay, cool.
And so this brings us to Occam's razor, all right? A problem-solving principle stating that the simplest explanation requiring the fewest assumptions is usually the best or most likely true, essentially shaving away unnecessary complexities like Dan Bongino's being blackmailed. And so again, what could be the simplest explanation? Well, Dan Bongino was part of an administration that is actively trying to cover up the Epstein files, similar to what we saw with Nixon and Watergate. Not only that, but Dan himself has contradicted himself countless times. So there is a very high likelihood that Dan is just continuing to push the narrative for the administration while also trying to save face and cover his own ass. But as we've seen earlier, as you lie or make claims that aren't backed by evidence, it's only a matter of time before you're exposed for the foolishness. Oh my god, these people, I need a drink.
In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom. In its hour of maximum